We are celebrating the legacy of the late Dr. Ahmed Tibi.
I first met Dr. Tibi in 2005 when I worked with him on the genetics team. Interestingly, he also worked with my late father, Dr. Samir Abdelhadi, in Libya many years prior. When my father first introduced me to Dr. Tibi, he had many wonderful praises about his work, his dedication, and his kind heart. All of this I found to be true in the short time that I was able to work with him. Dr. Tibi was a Palestinian scientist and physician born in Beirut. Throughout his life, his commitment to science and to the cause of Arab education never wavered. After completing his early schooling in Kuwait, Ahmed Tibi obtained his medical degree in 1973 from Cairo University. He then studied in Dublin, then London, where he obtained his diploma in child health and his diploma in human and clinical genetics, respectively.
Dr. Tibi's medical career started in 1976 as a pediatrician in Kuwait Medical Genetics Center. Then in 1981, he turned his attention to what would become his life passion, the field of human genetics. In 1989, at the young age of 39, Dr. Tibi received his prestigious Kuwait International Prize in Science for the Kuwait Foundation for the advancements of science in recognition of his trailblazing work. Perhaps the achievement Dr. Tibi was most proud of was the publication of his book titled Genetic Disorders Among Arab Populations by Oxford University Press. This was a landmark text and is taught today in medical schools around the world. Dr. Tibi had a great influence on the progress and promotion of clinical genetics internationally. He was one of the founders of the Middle East Genetics Association and was its first president. He also played a key role in the establishment of multiple genetics programs in the Middle East. Dr. Tibi took a particular interest in fostering science and education in his homeland of Palestine.
Among his many recognitions, Dr. Tibi received the Euroscience Foundation's Rummel Award for Scientific Achievement and was also profiled by Al Jazeera as one of the outstanding talents of the Arab diaspora. In addition to his professional career, Dr. Tibi was a talented calligrapher, artist, and poet, and his poetry was heavily published in the Arab press. At the young age of 61, Dr. Tibi unfortunately passed away from cancer. Throughout his life, he worked tirelessly and never stopped being a great husband and father. Perhaps his most lasting contribution is to his family, to whom he remains a major guiding force to this day. He is survived by his wife Amal and his 4 children. We ask his son Saeed to come to the stage. It is our great honor to present them with this plaque in recognition of his lifetime achievements. Dr. Mahir Abusido and ourselves are pleasure to bestow this honor.
Thank you very much for this very kind recognition. I know my father, if he were alive today, he would be incredibly grateful to everybody who is here today, contributing to this extremely worthy cause. There's no more important cause, really, as far as our people as a society is concerned. We're not going to get anywhere without actually having the education that we need. We have doctors, we have engineers, we have lawyers, and we need much more of these in order to gain influence in this world more and more. And certainly my father would be so happy to see this happening here today. Thank you very much to CPPF and to all of you. Thanks.
أستاذ سعيد، شو رأيك ووالدك الدكتور أحمد طيبي عم يتقرب معنا في هالليلة؟
والله أشعر بسعادة كبيرة إنه الحمد لله الشغل والعمل تبع والدي في تقدير من المجتمع الفلسطيني، وطبعا المؤسسة يعني أود إنه أشكرهم على هذا التقدير الجميل جدا. وطبعا كلياتنا مفتخرين جدا بالوالد الحمد لله.
So I studied Arabic in Jordan and أحكي شوي عربية. So تحكوا معي بعد العشاء إذا بدكم. I kind of assigned myself this role of cultural ambassador, even though I didn't know what my career would be. I didn't know, would I be a journalist? Would I be a pop star? I had no idea. But I knew that wherever I went, I had an experience that I could share and that I could talk about. And that's the same experience that we're giving to these students who are able to travel abroad and educate people in turn. We're not educating students, just students. We're educating everyone around them. I didn't know what Palestine was until I was 20. Honestly, I had never met a Palestinian. I had never met an Israeli. I had no idea what was going on in that part of the world. And if I had been given a chance to have that education and had that conversation, it would have shaped my life. But all I can say is I'm very grateful for the education I've had. We're all grateful for our education. And I don't know where I would be without my parents' education and my grandparents' education. So we're not just doing this for us, we're doing this for future generations. I believe in a world without borders. For example, 2 days ago, I forgot that my passport was in Seattle, and I was flying to a foreign country the next day. And it could have been my subconscious, my idealist inside that said that borders don't matter. But I was also devastated because I thought maybe I would have to turn down this invitation to come and speak at the last minute. Fortunately, because my hosts were so gracious and accommodating, I was able to reroute through Seattle and pick up my passport. And that's the reason why I'm here today. So I want to thank this organization, especially just for being so amazing and giving me this chance to come. So how did I end up in Palestine? Well, it's a good story. When I was studying in Jordan, I went to Jerusalem for 2 days. And honestly, my 2 questions were this: why are there so many barbed wire fences, and why are the soldiers so rude to me? Those were the 2 questions that really made me want to know more. And so I went back home, I took some classes, I read some Edward Said, and I ended up with a major in race and ethnic studies with a Middle East concentration. And from there on, that kind of launched me. It launched me. I started reading more online. I followed a lot of organizations that work for peace and justice. And I decided I needed to see Palestine for myself, really. And so I went to Google and I typed in schools in Palestine. And aside from Birzeit, El Najah, what I saw was a kindergarten called El Aqaba Kindergarten. And it turns out there's a kindergarten that was built by an organization in California in a Jordan Valley village. And shortly after it was built, the entire village came under demolition order. About 97% of the village. It's a village of about 300, 350 people. And so I saw this on Google, and I decided that I had to go and see it for myself. And at the same time, I learned that there are more than 12,000 demolition orders effective in Area C. I learned that Palestinians can't get building permits in Area C, only about 5%. And that devastated me. It was unthinkable to me that development could be halted like that. For people who so value education, especially, how could a kindergarten be put under demolition order? And so that was what drove me to go to Al Aqaba. And when I got there, I saw a village that was sitting on a hill overlooking the Jordan Valley, and it was beautiful. And the people were so inspiring, and they were determined to stay. And so I ended up moving there, and I lived there for 8 months. I want to thank you all for coming here tonight and being part of this program to help the future youth in Palestine. And I also, if you take something away from this evening from me tonight, also that you have a friend in San Francisco, if you ever need one, and if you want to learn more. So thank you so much.
And this year, my parents celebrated their 35th wedding anniversary. 35 years. I don't know why you're clapping. Arabs don't get divorced. Stay forever together. So 35 years, but we wanted to have a big party for my parents. So can you imagine this? A barbecue, Arabic music blaring, a whole lamb roasting on a spit. People were terrified. To make matters worse, my father decides to make a speech with his very heavy and very scary Arabic accent. Disaster, you guys. This is the speech. September 11th is a very, very special day for me and my wife. It is the day that Allah brought us together in unity. After that day, I knew we could be anywhere in the world. We would be strong. Thank you for coming to celebrate this special day with us. Allahu Akbar, right? So at this point, helicopters are hovering over the house. Al-Qaeda and Hezbollah are sending us greeting cards. It's not good. It's not. So everybody here is Arab? How many? We have non-Arabs, brave ones. I see you sitting in the front right here. Good for you. Good for you for coming here. And but everybody else, except for you three, they put you in the front so I could notice you. You are. So you two. You two are the only. We have 3, 4. Okay, there's a non-Arab table. Table number 5, over there, back there. Okay, they only put you two in the front. I like that. I like that. You're the VIP white people. Welcome. Welcome. I do, you know, this is my favorite thing about living in North America. When my non-Arab friends introduce me to people, I always feel like I'm on the Discovery Channel. I swear to God. It's always like, hey, that's Iman. Remember I've told you about her. She's the Arab. Why are you whispering? Why are you whispering right now? And it's like, oh yeah, she's Muslim, but don't worry. She's not religious. Don't worry. And of course, this awkward introduction is immediately followed by a discussion on food. Hi, man, it's really nice to meet you. And I just want you to know, I really love falafels. Thank you. I never made any in my life before. But I feel like people panic, right? They meet an Arab for the first time, and it's like, oh my God, quick, say something nice before they explode. I don't know what's going to happen. But thank God, you know what? Thank God we make good food. Honestly, we wouldn't have much going on for us aside from our tempers and unwanted facial hair. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not. But it's true. That's why I sincerely believe the most powerful word in the Arab language today is hummus. You say hummus in front of white people, they lose their minds. They love that stuff. Hey, you guys put it on everything. Hummus is white people's new mayonnaise. I don't know if you know this. It's so great, but some white people take it too far. I know you guys know these people, where you call them, you want to make plans with your friend Bob, and it's like, Bob, you want to go out for dinner tonight? And he's like, no, I can't. I just had dinner. It's like, okay, what did you have? Hummus. It's a spread, for God's sake. It's not a meal. Put the pita bread down. Put the pita bread down. But I am Muslim, like I said. My dad, proudest Muslim man you'll ever meet in your life. Okay? I've never seen this before, you guys. The only person I know who does not get annoyed by Jehovah's Witnesses. He invites them in every time, like, oh, come in, my friend. I show you who converts who. Come, take a seat here. It's great. My parents hate my guts right now because I haven't been married since I was born. You know how that is? I swear to God, I think it happened in the delivery room when my mother gave birth to me, handed me to my father. He was like, very nice, must find husband. It's so crazy. Marriage is so important for women. You could cure cancer and every disease on earth. Like that's it. Marriage is so important. And to be honest with you, I do blame my father for being single because there was a bit of a double standard growing up. When girls would call the house for my brother, he'd get really excited. God forbid a guy called the house for me or my sister. It's like, hello? Who are you? How do you know my daughter? I kill you. And it's like, who's going to call ever? Now that I'm older, it's the complete opposite. Now any guy calls the house. It's like, hello? Are you calling for daughter number 1 or number 2? I give you both, half price, yalla. 2 for 1. I love Arab parents. I love Arab parents because they're bipolar. This is the thing about Arab parents. This is the thing. Whenever I want to give my parents, you notice this, when you want to give your parents an example of a friend of yours that has a parent that's more liberal, and you're like, Julie can do that. And it's always like, I don't care about Julie or Abu Julie. You're my daughter. And that's it. But them, they could flip it whenever they feel like. Why can't you be like Walid's daughter? Why can't you PhD? You can't say it's just hypocritical. But I think my favorite thing about Arab parents is swearing. I'm not going to say a bad word, guys. It's only this one because every single person has said it in here. Bint al-kalb, right? Bint al-kalb. Really, Baba? I'm okay with it if you are, I guess. I don't know. The first time my mother said it to me, I'm like, Mama, it's not nice. He's right there. He's right there. And the other, one of my favorite words growing up, I always thought my parents were extra religious because every single time I asked them for something, the answer was always, inshallah, right? No matter what it was, inshallah. Baba, can I have the car? Inshallah. Mama, can you buy me the shirt? Inshallah. I don't know about you guys, but inshallah means no in my household. That's what it is. It means no. Anybody have pets? Any Arabs with pets here? Arabs, good for you. Very progressive. Very good. That's pretty good. It's a small percentage. My father does not understand the use of animals unless it's like transportation or food. That's... When I told him I got a cat, he's like, does she take you to school? Does she give you milk? افتح الباب وارميها بالشارع. Like that's... There's no use for pets. It's so funny. I wanted to tell, so the marriage thing is obviously huge. We know that I blame my father for it. But my mother is the complete opposite. She thinks I'm too picky. She's always like, Iman, you have to lower your standards. You can't do this. You're old, Sirti, 92 years old. I'm like, Mom, I'm 29. She's like, we're Arabic, we read from right to left. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. It's great, though, living in Canada. I'm really proud of the fact that when we immigrated here, the first friend I ever made was Jewish. And I think that's beautiful, right? Nobody else agrees. Okay. But Palestinian, Jewish, we grew up together. She's like my sister, okay? And it was really cute. When we were younger, we'd play this game. Instead of cowboys and Indians, it was Israelis and Palestinians. She'd come over, kick me out of my house. It wasn't fair. It was not. And then we played this other game, cops and robbers, but she was the cop and the robber. It really, no, we don't like that. Okay. I did go to Palestine to perform comedy. That was amazing. I loved it so much. The Israelis loved me the most, though. They kept me at the airport for 3 hours and a half. It was so nice. And I got to, are we all Palestinian, by the way? No, we have a bit of everything. There's one very proud Palestinian who decided to be the spokesperson of everybody. That's good. But we have a mix of everything. Lebanese, yes. Egyptian, Syria, very nice. Syria and Palestine on the news every single day. It's very good, very good. Moroccan, very good. So we have a bit of everything. Algerian, Tunisian. That's good, we have it all. It's good to see everybody united and not fighting. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. What else did I want to tell you guys? Living in Canada is great. And I hope that... Abu Julie or nothing. Did you guys follow the news in Quebec at all? Of what happened? Did you hear about that charter of values that's going on over there? It's so crazy. It's so crazy to me. Do you have friends in Montreal that you think are going to move because of it? No, everybody's staying. They don't care. They don't care. They're like, we're not leaving. We're not going to get out of here. I find it so weird because, like I said, growing up in Quebec is a very uplifting and open society where you could practice what you want to practice, and And I don't know if you deal with French Canadians here, but I don't know if you noticed this about French Canadians, but their use of the letter H when speaking in English, you know what I'm talking about? It's amazing what they do with that letter, right? And my roommate and dear friend is French Canadian. We have a mutual friend in common named Helen that she naturally calls Ellen, okay? H is silent, I understand, no problem. But this weekend she's telling me about comics that she likes, and she says, I really love Helen DeGeneres. Why would you do that? Why would you take the H away from Helen's name? Like, I thought you didn't know how to pronounce H's. All of a sudden it pops up, right? Where did it come from? And then she tells me we should tell Ellen to come watch Helen tonight. I'm like, I can't live like this. I can't. Her name is Isabel. I call her Hisabel now. I think she won that one because my name is Iman. She calls me He-Man now. I don't like it. I got to tell you, my parents, obviously, you know, they like the fact that I do stand-up comedy because they see that it's going really fantastic, but they didn't like it right away. And in my case, I had no choice because people ask me all the time, like, Iman, why would you do this? Why would you do stand-up comedy? And like I said, in my case, I feel like I had no choice but to become a comedian because when I was younger, people thought I was retarded. Guys, they did, okay? Because I was much bigger for my age. So when I was 2 years old, I looked like I was 7, crawling around. People are like, what the hell's going on here, right? And I was extremely hyper and impatient, so I wouldn't crawl around like a normal child on hands and knees. I would crawl on hands and feet, so that freaked everybody out. So you know when somebody thinks about something about you and you try to prove them wrong all of your life, you just end up confirming it even more. Everybody's tiptoeing around you. Finally, when I got older and decided to do comedy and I told my parents, my father looks at my mother and he's like, I knew it. You owe me $1,000. She is retarded. She is. And here we are. My favorite other thing that I forgot to mention earlier, I'll leave you guys on this, is dieting in the Middle East is very difficult. I've been trying to get into shape since 1993, and it's very hard, especially when I get together with family, because my aunt will see me and she'll be like, yee, shu sminti. No problem, they'll tell you how fat you are, but then 2 seconds later, it's like, why aren't you having a second plate? I'm like, I'm still crying from you telling me how fat I was 2 minutes ago. Anyway, guys, I hope you give a lot of money for this crazy, great cause. It's for Palestine. It's for all of us. The success of that country really relies on people like us. We have such a good life here. So enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for your generosity. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
In your opinion, how important is comedy in portraying a good image about Arabs in the Western community?
I think it's absolutely important. I feel like minorities in North America have always used comedy to dispel stereotypes and negative stereotypes, be it black people, be it women, be it Jews. And I think comedy has really taken the Middle East and Arab comedians by storm in North America, as well as the Middle East. So it's something that's so fantastic, and it gives me the feeling that I'm an ambassador and I'm representing an image of an Arab person that's not a terrorist like the majority of people think. They always think that we're terrorists and we're serious, and we're obviously, you know, like I mentioned off the top of the show, we're hilarious people, and that's something that we should showcase.
مشاهدينا نحن هلا قاعدين بالزاويه تبعت انتيكا، احد السبونسرز للعشاء اليوم. معنا اماني احد الداعمين لهاي الايفنت. اماني اهلا وسهلا فيك.
اهلا بيكي، اهلا شرفتونا.
ليش حبيتي تدعمي هاي المؤسسه؟
كفلسطينيه مفروض ندعم اي نشاطات. احنا هون جداد في البلد، المحل فتح جديد، عم بدور على اي نشاطات تدعم الانشطه العربيه، وطبعا خصوصا فلسطيني لانه انا فلسطينيه، والهدف اللي العشاء معمول عشان الطلاب. طبعا اهم ثروه وطنيه الفلسطينيه مفروض يدعموها بكل قوتها هي الطلاب، لانه هم بالاخير الزخر تبعنا، هم الامل تبع فلسطين في المستقبل. فكانت هاي ليه كنا هون؟ عشان طلابنا.
رائع. احكي لنا شوي عن انتيكا، ايش هاي الشركه؟
انتيكا لما جينا ميسيساغا طبعا هي كمدينه ملت كل الثقافات العربيه او شرقيه او غربيه كلها بتيجي تنصهر في بوتقة ميسيساغا. فاحنا فكرنا بفكرة مماثلة للبيئة اللي موجودة فيها ميسيساغا، وهي ثقافة، جبنا الشرق كله على الغرب. لقينا إنه الجمهور الكندي مش متعرف لسه على ثقافة أو الكالتشر أو حتى الارتس والكرافتس الشرقي، ففكرنا نجيب من كل أنحاء الشرق، ما اختصناش في المنطقة العربية. في عنا ايتمز من الهند، من الباكستان، كشمير، في من أفغانستان، تايلاند، وطبعا إيران والعراق وسوريا وفلسطين ولبنان وتركيا ومصر. فحبينا بس نعرف الناس الكنديين والعرب عندهم شوية حنين، مش كل العرب بيقدر ياخد قطعة من بلده، فكمان إنه الحنين لأنك يكون عندك قطعة من بيتك في بيتك. إحنا حاولنا نساعد هدول الشريحة.
شكرا لك أماني، بنتمنى لك كل التوفيق
شكرا لكم. شكرا لكم.
ليش حبت شركة ستايدوس تعمل رعاية لهذا الحفل الليلة؟
طبعا شركة ستايدوس هي عبارة عن شركة بتساعد الانديفيدجوالز والشركات to raise funds على الويب، وحبينا احنا نكون جزء من السي بي بي ونساعدهم في جمع التبرعات على الويب وبالايفنتس از ويل. احنا الكترونيك انجينيرز وعندنا البلاتفورم هذا بنسوي فند ريزنج اونلاين، و اي واحد بيقدر طبعا يسوي الفند ريزنج باي ساينينج اب تو ذا ويب سايت فور اي كاز هو بحب يشتغل فيه.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed your night. Thank you to our honored guests, sponsors, donors, volunteers, board members, and all of you for your support tonight. We couldn't have done it without you. It was our pleasure to be your hosts. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did too. We hope that you share in the Canadian Palestinian Professional Foundation's vision for education of the Palestinian children. To conclude our event, please enjoy the music of DJ Nabil Saab. Good night.